Chase Thomas podcast. My nephew needs me to record. See, I already hate it. I hate it.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas podcast. From still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, come to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me, the hosts of More Important Issues, a great Tennessee Vols podcast that you should listen to multiple times a week, especially during football season. It's the heart of all of our shows. Caleb Mitchell is here. Caleb, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's ramped up. It is football season. It feels a lot better that we started 1-0. I didn't have to stay up late Saturday and hate watch Nico. I think if Joey had been underwhelming or if we just flat out sucked, I would have had to. I didn't feel the need to, so I didn't. Thank you to all those who did hate watch, so I could collect whatever the opposite of lowlights and bad stats, so that I could see those later on. But I didn't need to hate watch. I was good.
Maybe I'm on an island. I'm not a hate watcher. I'm just like, I wish it well. It's nothing against Nico. I don't have it in me. I don't know if it's good for the soul to hate watch. I don't know if it's good to like, hey, you got Joey. It was a good day for Joey Agalar. It's like, hey man, I don't know. Nico's still a nice kid to me. I can't do it. I can't.
You're probably right that it's not good for the soul, but I also think those type of rivalry, and I know it's not exactly like a traditional rivalry,
yeah.
but those types of hates are good for just sports. Now, people can take it too far. I'm not going to DM the kid and be like, hey, man, you really sucked it up Saturday night. That's not me. But, like, I hate watch Alabama. I wouldn't watch an Alabama game ever if I didn't care. I care. Yeah. I just hate them. Like, I watched just about every second of that Florida State game and loved everything past the first drive. I loved it. It was awesome. And I hate watched it.
Like, Henry To'oTo'o made more sense to me, where it's like he left for a rival. He left for a rival. And it's like that one, man, that did like, I understood like the rivalry part of it and that whole deal. It's like, man, you left in free agency. That was your own thing. You didn't want to stick around for the rebuild, everything else. And look, man, and you chose a rival. Same with like Eric Gray going to Oklahoma and Wanya Morris, if you lined up with them, like that would have made sense to me. I don't know. Nico, to me, one of the biggest differences is that it didn't feel like it was a Nico thing. It's people around Nico and everything else. I don't know. I try to find the good and I don't think it's a good situation. I feel bad for him. I think it's going to be a really rough year for him in Southern California. And I don't know. It's just, it's such a fine line. And it's just in terms of like making it to the next level, picking the right situation, knowing who to listen to, maximizing this very, very slim window of your life to making the right choices so that you're best set up so you can set the rest of your 30, 40 years after football up. I don't know. I don't envy any of the spots these kids are in because there's just so many different people. There's so much money involved and everything else. Like, I don't know. I watched that game on Saturday. It's terrible.
What if I could guarantee you $2 million now? Would it matter what you could make in the NFL?
Yeah, because I mean that will be gone soon. Like,
I know. That's what everybody's seeking. Like, what every human wants, and it's immediate satisfaction.
Yeah. Also here, Landon Raby, co-host of More Important Issues. Landon, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I don't hate watch per se. I am petty, so I don't wish them well at all.
Yeah,
in their next stop. So I'm one of those. I did watch the game because I was curious more than like I wanted him to suck. I was just curious, like if he went out and balled out, I would have been like, man, that blows. But seeing him just kind of suck, I was like, that's pretty sick. Turned it off at halftime, went to bed.
That's fair. I feel like if Nico came out and said some stuff, like it's one of those things where he doesn't talk. He doesn't do it. He's an introvert. As an introvert, I can relate. He's just kind of laid back. And I don't know. He doesn't really do anything to me where there's some guys where if they leave, they're talking as they leave. And, they make it awkward out the door.
It's all business.
Well, like Chase Burns made sense to me. Like I understood the Chase Burns animosity. Like that one would just obvious. Like us three Tennessee baseball fans, that made sense. Like, and I wish we would have gotten Chase Burns, Tennessee in a playoff setting. Like that would have been really, really fun to see. Cause that's like the fun to me, like the best part of sports. Like, look, man, you would have been a starter, this, that, and the other. Like, what are you doing, man? Like this is weird. That
if Nico had left in December, I would feel differently about it.
Interesting. kind of like how Georgia fans feel about Carson Beck, because it felt like a lot of Georgia fans are wishing Carson Beck well and hope and like to see him ball out of Miami, which is where Nico could have been in January.
And I think the team would have felt a lot differently. You know, you hear the stories that came out of that spring game. I think I know spring game's a lot different. Believe me, I want to change the spring window so much and how it operates. But I mean, at the same time, you are prepared. Like, you all have been going through weeks and weeks of practice, and then you have this game you're preparing for, and you're left high and dry by your leader. And I think they feel they clearly felt some type of way about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, and I'm with you. I feel bad for that situation. I think he is being manipulated by people who are using him to make money or to make their name bigger, one or the other. So I'm with you on that, but I'm a Tennessee fan first and foremost. And yeah, I take satisfaction when you leave Tennessee, and I feel like it's a better spot for you than that place. And you seem to not change at all, or, gotten worse, one or the other.
Yeah. Syracuse on Saturday, new quarterback one, Joey Agalar, first start for the Vols. Landon, what did you learn about Tennessee that you're certain we learned after the Syracuse victory?
I think Tennessee's okay at quarterback. I think there was a lot of question marks going into it. I feel like, I'm not going to say like Nico can't be good and we won the trade outright in week 1, but it does feel like it is a good situation for Tennessee right now. It seems like the quarterback positions is in a better place than it was last year. Now, again, it is week 1, and we're going to take that with a grain of salt. But right now, everything that we saw on Saturday, I thought Joey Agalar looked the part. I thought he escaped well. I thought he kept his eyes downfield. I thought he made football plays. Like, he was just a good football player. He wasn't phenomenal. He didn't light up Syracuse, and he didn't look like a Heisman front runner, but he didn't put the ball in harm's way, and he made plays when he needed to. And I think this offense, you're going to get people open. So if you can make the throws to open receivers, not turn the football over, the running backs are going to run the football. You're going to move the football. So I think Joey Agalar, it seems like a good fit for Tennessee right now.
I agree. Caleb, the thing about Joey, and it's kind of wild in the Heupel era, the two quarterbacks Heupel and his staff identified were wrong, and Joe Milton and Nico Iamaleava. And the two guys that were afterthoughts, one being a leftover from the previous era in Hendon Hooker, and the other one being just like, all right, we got to grab a veteran because all the other guys we targeted before him and everything else, look, all right, let's just take Joey and we'll do a de facto trade. And he looks like the best fit since Hendon Hooker. It's just kind of wild how that works and how hard it is to evaluate these guys and from the outside and be like, I think we can fit them into our scheme, because Milton didn't fit this scheme. And you saw in the NFL, like, he's definitely more of an NFL pro style guy. Nico definitely didn't fit the scheme last year. We'll see. We'll never know what it would have looked like in year 3, but Hendon and Joey looked way more comfortable. Part of it's also age, I guess, for Joey, is that he's 24, same age Hendon was when the tempo and the offense looked the best. I think that definitely helps them both being 24. But yeah, I don't know. Do you share that the quarterback situation is resolved and we learned that Tennessee's got themselves a quarterback?
I won't go say it's resolved yet, because there's so much football left to play this season. Yeah, I think Tennessee's quarterback position is in a lot better spot than we thought it was outside looking in. Now that we have a chance to see not only the quarterback play, but this offense operate, you have to feel better about where it's at. I think there are still some questions, albeit minor questions. One is like, can Joey keep the ball from sailing on him on specific throws? It looks like he's probably mechanics, I'd imagine, when we're talking about those screen passes or passes to the flat. Struggles a little bit there. We didn't really get to see him throw outside the hashes a ton, and that's where Hendon Hooker really threw better than Joe Milton and Nico. So I think there's still some uncertainties there, but I think everyone, if you don't feel better about it now, you're just never going to feel better about it unless he wins a national championship. Yeah, I think you have to be pleased with, you mentioned it, the trade. I mean, somehow Tennessee wins that trade when we kind of just we got Jerry Jones. Like, he was going to leave no matter what. We might as well try and get something.
Yeah. And well, we don't have to dive into that because they could have rode that out till.
I do want to say this: Tennessee desperately needs a George McIntyre and a Faison Brandon. One of those guys has to hit, right?
Or what?
I just think like then that mantra of like, I don't like why is a 5-star going to go to Tennessee? Like, I mean, they're not getting produced. I mean, it's going to be used against them in recruiting, whether that's fair or not. I think that's going to happen.
I think if I'm Josh Heupel, I'm taking the last man standing in the quarterback transfer portal for now on. Whoever you are, let's go.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things fans will be surprised about. My gut is they're going to take a 1-year guy out of the portal because if Joey starts 12 games this year in the regular season and he's fine and you're able to roll with Joey the whole year, I just don't see Jake being back because you're bringing in Faison. It doesn't seem like Merklinger is long for this. As much as it pains me to say, it just doesn't make any sense for Merklinger to be back in that competition next year. But you can't go into next year with a redshirt freshman and a true freshman only as your options.
Sure.
Like, especially when you've built such a high floor with this program, you got to take a high-end transfer portal guy. Like you know what the ideal situation is what Ole Miss did when they added Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State, where everyone was like, why did you got Jackson Dart and some other guy, like, why did you add Spencer Sanders? It's like, well, if he's going to come here, why not? Like, we need more veterans and more fallback options. So I don't know. Maybe that's Oklahoma State's quarterback this year. Haas, the transfer from TCU, bring him in or something. I don't know who it is, but I think it'll surprise some folks. But Tennessee,
could Joey get another year?
Ooh. Well,
Diego Pavia,
that's interesting. I will be curious how they approach it, but that's gonna be an all-time great quarterback battle in the winter and spring is George versus Faison, because whoever wins that job, it's gigantic in terms of where things go for Tennessee.
Can I give a silver lining to those two quarterbacks that didn't win the job? Knowing what I think before this game, a lot of people were ready to hit the panic button on Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre just because, you got beat out by this guy who showed up in May.
Yeah.
And maybe thought it fell to him because of age and experience. Well, now we see him play, and maybe that QB competition was closer than we thought. Maybe those other two guys played okay and just got beat out by a guy that looks like he operates the offense really well. Looks like he throws a good ball. Definitely throws a good deep ball. We'll see as far as outside the hashes, keeps his eyes downfield when he's going out of the pocket to keep plays alive. Like, maybe it's not those two guys just sucked. And I'm not saying they could come in and operate at the same efficiency that we just saw Joey Agalar do on Saturday, but it might not be as bad as people want to think behind him, potentially. I think there's room that they could be okay.
And it's just such a huge age gap. Like, it's 24 versus an 18 and 19-year-old. Like, there's just no substitute for that. Like, the amount of just experience and throws and everything else. Like, Joey, the closest thing, like, there's not a lot in common with him and Hendon in their style of play at all. Like, Joey's way more of a freelancer. Like, that play where Joey's rolling left and finds Star Thomas lofts it to him in the end zone, Hendon's never making that play. I love Hendon Hooker. He's my favorite Tennessee quarterback. Hendon Hooker is not making that play. That was not what Hendon Hooker did. Hendon
he's scoring a touchdown.
Yes, he's running
with his legs.
Yeah, 100%. Joey trusted his arm, and Joey is going to trust his arm in spots where you're like, Joey's going to be our first, like, no, yeah. And it's just like that. He's going to do multiple of those this year where you're like, no, yes. He is a no, yes guy, but he's also going to have a no. Oh God, what just happened? Because I don't know if y'all remember when they were in the red zone at one point on Saturday, a ball got deflected at the line by Syracuse, and you saw the Syracuse safety like grab his helmet and like he knew he had a pick six, like a 95-yard pick six, and that's like lost in the just the ethers of that game. But there was a pick six that was dropped in that game, and the other part was Joey Agalar was missing high all over the place. Like he settled in as the game went on, but I mean the Travis Smith one to the left was crazy. Like, that one was just like, you're 24 and like he's just airmailed one. Travis is huge, and it just not even close to Travis. And you're like, he's not a gimme ball guy, but he's also going to hit on those 73-yard bombs. And you're like, hey, if you hit on 2 or 3 of those a game and you miss like 6 to 7 gimme balls, but you don't turn it over, we'll live with that. But I also think that just might be what he is. Like, I don't know he's going to clean that up at 24, right? Like, Joey's not going to be this accurate. He was 50% completion rate going in the fourth quarter. Like, that's kind of who he is.
And
it was fun.
It was fun.
I
get it. Like, it's one of those things we haven't seen it in years. Like, you don't know what you don't know what you don't know until it's gone, and it's been gone. You're like, oh right, this was fun.
We need to talk to college quarterbacks because it's got to just be exceptionally easier to throw a deep ball than it is a ball behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, we see way more teams in Tennessee. We see it more because we watch it more. Yeah. I mean, if I had to watch Jarrett Garantano miss another bubble screen, that would have been the end for me. I mean, bubble screen just has to be the hardest throw to throw in football based on what I've seen college quarterbacks do.
It's a good question. I would love to pick their brain on it. It's like what makes
I know it's not an easy throw, but it has to be the hardest from what I've seen.
Well, just take one missed block and it's a pick six. I think that's always in the back of your mind. And maybe Joey's like, maybe he doesn't care. Maybe that's a good thing. You just can't care if you're a quarterback throwing behind the line of scrimmage.
That's my favorite thing about Joey is the fumble he had where the RPO dropped to Star. He was unfazed. He was like, all right, go back out there. He didn't care. Like Joey is just very cool, calm, collected. And that's going to be very important when you go to Gainesville. Very important when you go to Tuscaloosa. Very important when Georgia comes to town next week. He's not gonna be up and down. Like that guy is gonna be. He knows exactly who he is, and he's gonna be a cool, calm, collected leader. And I think there is real value in that. And it's something you won't see until Georgia in 2 weeks. But I do think there is real value in your quarterback being steady Eddie under center because you just haven't had that in a while.
Yes, but I think you got to have a little bit of like fire in your body language.
I mean, I think he has that too.
I agree. I think Nico was like too calm.
Yeah.
You could have never told me what was going through his head based on his body language.
Yeah.
And like the Tennessee fan in me was like, that's great. He's calm as all can get out. Like no worries here. I had no idea. His body language never changed.
It was kind of like Bryce Young. Like Bryce was like that.
Yeah.
But Bryce balled out, so people didn't care, you know.
But
Bryce was
I agree.
the same way.
You can kind of see Aguilar's like little pep in his step when he gets up to the line of scrimmage and like he's you could kind of tell when he thought a big play was coming.
I like that. Caleb, who needs to get the most snaps on Saturday against ETSU for the Vols?
Anybody that has DL listed next to him on the roster should be dressed out Saturday and played. Not just dressed out, played. In fact, maybe even guys who don't have that next to them on the depth chart, just throw them in. If they're big enough, throw them in there. You got to get numbers in there. I think the same for corner. We find out about Ricky Gibson. I mean, there's not even a timetable for him. I thought going through fall camp, they were kind of thinking, Jamal McCoy might be ready for Georgia. Now, no one's outright said it, but everything I've listened to and read is like, they don't think that's going to happen. So you're getting into SEC, and that's reading the tea leaves. That's no one's confirmed that, but I've heard people say that or dance around that topic that I'm like, I don't see it happening now.
Like he wasn't even brought up in the injury stuff this week.
Right.
I just think if there was any buzz about Jermod like getting some snaps about ETSU, that would get out.
Well,
I just feel like we're nowhere close on Jermod.
No, it doesn't seem like that either. Which, by the way, people should respect Zakai Ziegler even more for what he did.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to be. I think the defense played much better than people are giving them credit for. I thought they fought their butts off. I thought that Syracuse offense, it was better than we expected. I think they're going to be fine down the stretch. But you need to have depth, especially on the end. I think if you can find a way for your interior line to be a presence for 60 minutes, I think your defense looks even better on paper.
Yeah, the DL stuff is just real. Like, I don't even know if it's like reps because, Landon, I look at this and I'm like, you're kind of just screwed. Like, David Hobbs is out. Jackson Moy's out. You whiffed on Josh Snell out of the portal. Like, you bet on an FCS to FBS type deal. And there were FBS guys who were available in the interior that Tennessee did look at, but they went project, and Josh Snell might eventually turn into a rotation guy. But then the guy who really broke out on Saturday, who looks like $1 million, was Nathan Robinson. But he got hurt twice in the game. It's like the thing about Nathan Robinson is he can play. Like Nathan Robinson's a good player, and I hope he can stay healthy this year. But he got hurt twice in the opener, and you're like, we need you. Like you got to play, man. Like you're a really good player, but like, can you really count on Nathan Robinson? That's an ultimate TBD. And Ethan Utley and Isaiah Campbell are gonna have to play a whole heck of a lot of snaps on Saturday. You got to get them ready for Georgia because it doesn't who knows where you're at in the interior. Georgia's offensive coaching staff just must be looking at this injury report for Tennessee, and they're like, oh. This is like Gunnar Stockton's a willing runner. He's built like a linebacker anyway.
If Georgia fans were frustrated by the middle screens against Marshall, buddy, get ready for the Tennessee game. Middle screen, QB run, middle screen. Yeah. I mean,
like they're going to challenge, like they're going after you in the middle because like Tennessee's going to have to prove that they can stop them because Syracuse, I think people saw like the 2.3 Landon yards per carry for Syracuse. And it's like, well, that incorporated like minus 25 yards with the sack yardage from Angeli. Like both running backs average about 4 yards a carry and Willis was pretty good. So we just haven't seen that in the last couple of years, right? Like Tennessee's been so good against the run. I part of it, I just think is injuries. Like they just don't have the bodies right now. And this was what I said this summer. It was like, I didn't trust this defensive line group. I thought it was a transition year on the defensive line and it's the worst in the Garner last 3 years, I would say. Probably the weakest it's been since year one. And you go through spurts like that, right? Like it's just, I'm a big believer in them in 26 and 27, but I didn't see it this year. And Bryce Easton was playing a whole heck of a lot of snaps, more than
way
he
too
needs
many
to be
snaps.
playing. Yeah, like it's just, I don't know. But the other part of that, Landon, is Tennessee is playing at a faster tempo again. So if you look at the drive charts, like Tennessee had a lot of minute drives, 2 minute 30. And it's like, guess what? That was something that was missing the last 2 years, but the defense loved it. The defense was like, yeah, this is great. Second half, Dylan Sampson, we're a lot fresher. The tempo's back. I mean, it's the defense is going to have a lot more on their plate. It's going to be interesting how Tim Banks and company manage it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to throw in Jamal Wallace, like he's got to play this week.
Yeah,
and all those guys, like you got to see what you got because some of them has to play. Like Ethan Utley, he's probably not at the weight you really want him to be playing defensive tackle in the SEC, but he's got to play.
Yeah,
Isaiah Campbell might not be mentally there to handle a full SEC slate, but he's got to play. Especially in these games where like Bryson Eason, he doesn't need to play a lot in this game.
Yeah,
get somebody else in there. Get Josh Snell in there. I mean, anybody that like Caleb said has defensive line and didn't play a whole lot against Syracuse needs to be in this game.
Don Bailey needs to play a bunch, I think, in the interior here. I'd move him in and get him a bunch of snaps so that you get a lot more snaps with Tyree West and Marion Dye and Tyree Weathersby at strong side defensive end. Because I think you're going to need Dominic Bailey inside for a little bit, especially against Georgia. Like, I think you need to prepare for Dom to move inside because you have depth at strong side defensive end. And Tyree Weathersby flashed for me. I don't know if he flashed for y'all, but I think Weathersby's your best strong side defensive end right now. So I might move him. I give him the most amount of reps there anyway.
I'm with you on that. I mean, Tyree West, is he? I know he's got to figure it out mentally because the talent's there, but is he a guy that can also move inside?
Pass rush situations, I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard that, but like, I mean, the way he dominated, I just think back to that Iowa game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't matter who was in front of him. He was going to get past them. So I'm interested to see if they maybe fool around a little bit with that interior to see who you got. And then at corner, I think Ty Redmond, feed that man because you're going to need him. And Colton Hood.
Well, then, Caleb, it's like, how do they manage the boo part of it? Because you're back in the corner now.
He's playing full time. He'll play 70 snaps against ETSU. He has to.
He should. Like, you got to get him ready for Georgia. Like, that's the whole thing. And that was the baffling thing. I don't know if y'all thought about this in real time, but Saturday, I could not believe Boo Carter was not returning punts. Like, they threw Braylon Staley back there, which was bonkers to me, where, like, you can't get him hurt. He's your best receiver right now to start the year. You throw DeJuan Morris as a true freshman, and he fair caught a ball with no one within 10 yards of him at midfield.
Oh, he was told to fair catch it.
Yeah, and you're like, what are we doing? Why are you intentionally sabotaging yourself? Like, you have this returner there, and it's like, if he's getting snaps on D, it's one thing if he's suspended. Like, but if he's getting snaps, he had like 2 series in the first half, and you're like, okay, so you're playing him on defense a little bit, but then on punt returns, that's where you draw the line. Like, we're just not going to have him on punt. Like, what are we doing? If he's on the team, play him, especially on punt returns. He can flip a game. Like, he could be extremely important against Georgia. Like that, he almost had a punt return touchdown against Georgia last year that would have flipped the game. Like, what are we doing with Boo Carter? Like, he
might make those drives shorter though to hurt your defense.
True. That's true. I don't know. Boo Carter, let Boo Carter cook. It's like, at this point,
he's got to play.
He's got to. You got to move McMurray down. Like, you're
play him or kick him off the team. I don't care at this point which one. Just make a decision.
Yes. Like this,
if he's still in the doghouse, he's in the doghouse. He's done.
Right.
Get him out.
They don't play him at all.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Shut him down. Like if he's
Let
not
him and his mom go to Colorado or wherever she wants to go today. And
right. But if he's here and he's here this season, he needs to play a bunch of snaps because he helps Tennessee win football games, which is the main point of this season. Is
let him get more tape out there. He can get more money in the transfer portal. Who cares?
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. He needs to play football. We are in a professionalized version of the sport. Like he's got to play.
This is getting to the point that I'm like, either Josh Heupel's making a bad decision, or, well, I guess he's making a bad decision either way, or he's like putting it on the players, on the leaders, and they're like, yeah, I don't know about it anymore. And it's like, no, unless the players are going to make the decision you want to make as a coach, don't let them. And like, don't let them vote Jalen Hurd off Butch Jones. That's crazy.
You're thin. You don't have a choice. Like you got to move McMurray down. Like you cannot throw true freshman Ty Redmond as one of your opposite starters against Georgia with Colby Young and Noah Thomas. That cannot be what happens here.
Get our best speechwriter to get Boo an apology together for the next team meeting. Get it over with.
Yeah, teach him what Chat GPT is, and
maybe sit in a circle and let everybody say their piece to him. Just get it.
But my whole thing is like you're never going to get 95 people on board anyway. Like it's impossible. There's too many people involved. Some people will like Boo, and some people will always not like him. Like there's no that's not how having 100 y'all have jobs. Like everyone in the company does not like everyone in the company. Like that's not how it works. You're never going to get this unanimous likability factor. Like that's who cares if he's on the team and some people don't like him. I don't care. Like the entire point of this and the entire point of Josh Heupel making $225,000 a week is to win football games.
Yeah.
So like,
and if he's out there making plays, people will get over it. They might not 100%. Like him still, but they'll get over it.
I mean, or it's the opposite. Like if DeJuan Morris fumbles a key fumble because you don't have Boo on punt returns against Georgia, and it puts Tennessee's defense in a hole or something because you don't have Boo out there. Like that's something where you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah, punish him for bad play. We love doing that. Like one screw up, and we love benching people forever.
Oh, speaking of, they didn't bench Star Thomas after that series, right? Or I guess it didn't really matter. We don't really know because Dylan Sampson, it was always like, oh, the fumble on that early drive, and then you don't see Dylan Sampson for a little bit last year. They didn't really do anything like this the game.
That gets missed in Jalen Wright's incredible 2023 season. Is he was benched for way too long after 2 fumbles. He just went MIA. I didn't know if he was still on the team.
More important issues. Biggest winner for Tennessee on Saturday, coach, player, or unit for you, Caleb, was who?
It's the offense. You look like you found a quarterback. Your running backs, you're replacing an SEC player of the year, but the three you brought or you had and or brought in look good. Your offensive line, you got hit with some injuries there right at kickoff. The plug and play continues to work somehow. They all just look really good. Wide receivers, it looked like you took a step up. They still got some room to get better, just like every position I named just now. But I thought the play calling looked better. I think the offense as a whole, you're just like, all right, maybe we settled back in.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the offensive line, Clint Ellerby, I think deserves an apology, Landon, because Jesse Perry, he just slides him over to right tackle, and you don't hear Jesse Perry's name once on Saturday.
We're in week 1. Hold on.
It's still like they look great. I mean, David Sanders was a late scratch.
We were playing an 8th-year senior, a defensive tackle that's had 3 ACL surgeries.
I'm just saying, like, we've seen years. I mean, last year you saw Dane Davis and John Campbell did not work at right tackle, and we knew early on. We're like, oh, we have some problems here. Like this is not going to work. And Lance Hurd was also not ready to go out of the gate. So I think Lance Hurd looked great. I think the offensive line as a whole, like Sam Pendleton, a lot of pancake blocks. He settled in right at center. And we were all worried about William Satterwhite. Pendleton looks like he's the guy at center. I don't know. I just feel that's a big part of Joey Agalar's season, right, Landon? Is that like, hey, this offensive line is going to be one of the best in the SEC. That will make Joey Agalar's life a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Did he ever get touched besides when he crossed the line of scrimmage? I don't recall.
He was not pressured very often.
He probably felt it a little bit on that deep ball to that PI on the first drive. He stepped into a linebacker. I mean, the guy had to pull up because of, if this was 2007, he probably would have gotten his head taken off. Like that's how close that guy was.
Yeah, what about you, Landon? Who's your MVP?
I really like the offensive line. I think in a little bit more specifically, Tennessee's job in the transfer, or like them getting the transfers out of the portal, has been phenomenal the past 2 years. Everybody that they've brought in now they don't do it a ton, but everybody that they brought in besides Josh Snell really has been a hit. And playing solid snaps. I mean, what a get Colton Hood was. Like that was kind of out of nowhere. Luckily, like he got in the portal at the right time. Tennessee grabbed him, and it's to this point it's worked. And now it's been super important because you were down Jermod McCoy, and now you're down your other starter, Ricky Gibson, who, I mean, I'm going to say that they're probably like, let's do this. Let's say that they're not going to be here for the remaining of the season, because if there's no timetable, like that's what it feels like to me. It's one of those we're going to keep dragging it out and dragging it out. And if they do return, then it's still like not where you want it to be. So if they come back, great. But I think you kind of expect those guys to maybe not be here for the long haul.
I think Ricky has more reason to return. Like Ricky is like could still go to the NFL with a good year. Like I think, he's NFL draft eligible. Jermod is going to be a first round guy whether or not he comes back. Like Jermod has a whole lot more to lose if he comes back this fall. He has nothing to prove on tape this fall. Ricky has stuff to prove. Like Ricky is a good player, but he still has an opportunity to be CB1. And this is kind of a crappy injury for him because he put in the work, put on 20 pounds this offseason, and it was a big year for him. I don't know. I would be surprised if we don't see Ricky again this year. Jermod, I just feel like if we get to Alabama week and we still haven't seen Jermod, at that point you're like, there's really no reason to risk it, man. So I just the later it goes with Jermod and like no rumblings where it's like Jermod's coming close, and you're like, I think this one might just be he's not coming back. But Ricky, I think he'll be back if he can, because I think he needs it.
So to answer your question, I'm going to go coaching evaluations out of the portal, and Ty Redmond is also a guy that they just landed out of who they beat out, NC State for Ty Redmond.
Yeah, he's a Milton guy. He's teammate with Dylan Lewis. Milton's a powerhouse back home in Georgia, so he comes from a big time program, and it's good eval.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I will say the Ty Redmond thing's just he's still a true freshman, man. And when you go up against some of these Georgia receivers here and some of the guys, Alabama's receivers, and I worry about the depth there and what they're going to do. That's why you have to move Jalen McMurray down, just with his development and what he was as a top 100 corner last year. Like you struck gold with Colton Hood, but I think you want Redmond to be number 3 so that you can ease him in and McMurray be on the other side and Boo Carter be its star, because I just don't love putting that much on this kid. And then if he gets toasted, you could lose his confidence and this, that, and the other. Like, give him a bunch of reps against ETSU, but he should not be starting on one side against Georgia. Like, regardless of how good he's looked out of the gate, you want to be careful with this kid's confidence, and I just could see Georgia being a problem there.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's quality depth, and it was something that no one really expected going into the season was Ty Redmond was going to be a factor for Tennessee, but here we are, and it seems like he's making the most of it.
Yeah. Buy or sell, Caleb. Tight ends may or may not be a factor in the passing game. I should say will not be a factor in the passing game as much as we anticipated this summer.
So I'm selling if I believe they will be.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And I'm going to sell that. I think there's still time. I think we saw just very little of what this offense can do. I think that was a fairly vanilla showing for Tennessee. And we tried to get him involved a little bit. We tried to get Ethan Davis, sell one over his head. You got a tight end touchdown there at the end. I know a lot of us missed it because of the Alabama-Florida State start time, which was pretty important, as we know. I think there's still some wrinkles that we'll see. And, we even saw 3 tight ends on the field at the same time. You're telling me we don't have a pass set out of that? I think we
saw a lot of 12 personnel. Ethan Davis was in the slot a pretty good amount in this game.
Yeah. So I think there's still time to get him involved. I think they will. I think it probably helps that this wide receiver group looks better than last year. So it's like, where's the balance of how involved they are? I don't know yet. But I think they'll be more involved than we saw in the Syracuse game.
I tend to agree. What about you, Landon?
I think I'm going to buy. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's what Caleb was kind of going into is the wide receivers are better, so they're not having to be a focal point in the offense. Now, I think that they're there to be a safety blanket, and obviously you have calls for him like you did in the red zone with Miles Kitselman, and I think he's going to be involved. But I don't think you're going to have to. I don't think you're going to have a game where a tight end gets probably 5 targets because of the wide receivers.
What's
And
interesting,
you're going to the running backs again.
yeah, there's a whole lot of new wrinkles that are kind of fun. Like we didn't have only wide splits in this game. I mean, you have, like you said, you're throwing running backs, and that's what something Star Thomas can do, right? Like you might as well utilize his skill set. Ethan Davis, he looks great blocking. Like he had some pancakes in there. Deshaun Brame, we thought was going to play more. Deshaun Brame got like 5 snaps in this game. So I don't know. I think they're also like an injury away at receiver from really prioritizing tight ends in a major way again. Like
There'll
that's
be
the part of this. Like you're one bad injury away to like Staley or Brazel where you're going to have to.
The pace we go at, there'll be a 9-play drive where we're in 12 personnel the whole time, and we target the tight ends 3 or 4 times in that drive.
You just don't want a scenario where, like last year, if Miles Kitselman led Tennessee in receiving, it was like Tennessee's offense was awful that day. Like you can just pencil it in. So it's like you never want, with how Heupel works, Tennessee will never, I shouldn't say never, is more than likely to not win a football game when the tight end is the leading receiver. It's just not how this offense works. It's not the best version of Tennessee, but you still want more production, and you still want, with so much talent there, to spread the wealth. I think Joey's going to find, I think we're going to see some scattering of targets, like some tight end, some running back, some receivers. Like I think this is going to be more varied than we've seen in any years under Heupel. And I think that's what's so exciting is like there was some stuff on Saturday when you rewatch, like I was rewatching the tape today. It's just like stuff that we have not seen. Like, it's just kind of fun because I'm like, I don't really know what we're going to see week to week with Tennessee. I just know they're going to try different things. And I know Agalar is going to throw outside of structure more than any quarterback has at Tennessee. Like he's going to throw on the run. He's going to take chances with his arm that other guys just did not do. And I don't know what that means. I just know these receivers better keep their head in a swivel because Agalar is going to try and find them.
Yeah, I will say I think it shows the trust in the receivers, just that first play of the game to Mike Matthews. On Thursday, I said I thought we would start off with a tight end RPO to Miles Kitselman, whether that be a slant or like a pop route. I thought it would be you're going with the guy you trust the most. I think it shows a lot of trust in Mike Matthews. Say, we're going to give you a chance to go in at the linebackers here to make a catch and make a play. So I thought they'd go with what they felt was a safe RPO. And I think saying our safe RPOs with Mike Matthews says a lot.
Yeah. Final thing here, Landon. Buy or sell. Vols defensive line will be the weak link on defense all season long.
I mean, until they're healthy, you kind of have to go there, right? I mean, maybe I don't think Andre Turrentine had a great day. So I'm maybe safety at some point. But I didn't hear a lot about the safeties because they didn't give up any big plays. So, yeah, you probably have to go. And that's probably your most important position in the SEC. So you probably have to go there. But I think Joshua Josephs is really good. I think they can get like pressure off the edge, but that interior man they have to get something. Like they need Nathan Robinson healthy because him coming out of nowhere, that changed a lot for me. I'm like, okay, we're pretty solid there. I thought David Hobbs was a huge loss because Bryson Easton's a good player, but he is who he is. Like it's not like he's going to get so much better over the course of the season. But a guy like Ethan Utley and Nathan Robinson and Isaiah Campbell, the more that they play, the more comfortable they're going to get. So you probably have to go there, but if they can get healthy, I don't think it's as bad of a position to be in. Like you're not saying like, oh man, if we just had a good defensive line, like they're probably the worst of the 3 groups. But I think that says a lot about your linebackers and your DBs right now.
Interesting. What about you, Caleb?
I worry about the safeties. Landon's right. They didn't give up any big plays, but I thought it felt very classic Tim Banks. They just kept everything in front of them. Yes, they didn't give up any big plays, but I also don't really feel like they made any big plays.
I think Farouk popped for me, especially early. Farouk
made some good plays. Like I was pleased with him. I was.
Beasley almost killed the quarterback at one point.
He did.
But in a lot of people want to blame that 4th and 10 on Boo Carter. I think that's on. I don't know which safety that was on that hash.
Yeah,
I think that's on him.
The more blame Boo Carter not playing really at all, and then getting thrown out there and just kind of being like,
well, the more I watch that play, he bails to the near side hash as the TV camera, and the other safety stayed on that hash. I don't know what coverage they were in. I can't imagine it was a coverage where they're both covering the same hash. I just can't. I'd be shocked. Maybe Tim Banks would surprise me. But yes, they didn't give up any big plays, but it felt very classic Tim Banks, where we're going to give up a lot of. If that kind of play continues, like, we're not going to give up any huge touchdowns, but there'll be a 3rd and 15 every once in a while. We'll cough up. And I think
they were okay on 3rd downs. It was 4th down. They were terrible on 4th down on Saturday.
They just bailed. They just bailed, and they bail beyond the sticks. It's very frustrating.
And I think a lot of people bringing pressure as well.
Well, and I think a lot of people want to blame the linebackers there, and it's like, well, the linebackers are dropping, but then there's still a 10-yard gap between them and the safeties.
Yeah.
I think it's on the safeties, and I'd have to watch more and dig in more, but I think that group has a long way to go. And the reason I lean safeties is because I just kind of have this belief in Rodney Garner to figure out that group and for them to not be a weak link. And then you also have so much around them on the edge. And then I think the linebackers are fantastic. And I think it'll help mask some of those issues.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the defensive line really needs Jordan Ross to make the leap. Caleb Herring did not have a good game on Saturday. I don't know. I wonder if something happens this year where Ross, who was already in key pass rush situations and he outsnapped Caleb Herring in this game, I just wonder if you continue to give Ross more and more reps, because Ross had a great TFL where he slung the guy on the ground. And you're just like, Ross, he's not exact same size and look as James Pierce, but he just has that kind of elite Leo look in frame and everything that if he breaks out, that changes a lot on this defensive line, right? Like if you have your next star Leo there, that's huge, because Joshua Joseph is your best defensive lineman right now. And Joshua Joseph's really good in that game. But if you can have him and Jordan Ross thriving in a Tyler Barron Pierce like run in 23, that helps the linebackers, it helps the safeties, it helps everybody in a major way. So I think more than anything, Tennessee really needs Jordan Ross to take the lead, because if he does, that makes those key pass rush situations 3rd and 4th down where they can get home. And that's a whole lot for these tackles to deal with if Ross makes that leap that we think he's all capable of, and Joseph's just being who he is, which is the best defensive lineman on the team. Like that unlocks a lot for this defense.
Can I ask you, because I feel fine about the defense. I feel like I criticize the safeties maybe too hard, but I feel fine. I thought that offense, like I said, looked a lot better. How would you, I want to pose this question to the entire fan base. I don't know how I go about doing that, but how would you feel if this Syracuse team scored 20 rather than 26, or whatever you want to do based 19. On their 2-point conversion failings and whatnot? How would you feel?
You want to go first, Landon?
I mean, I'd probably feel. I don't think they were that bad. I think they were bad on 4th down. They gave up some plays on 4th down that they shouldn't have. Other than that, like, it was pretty. And how? At what point? Like, who was in the game at defensive line at that point? Who was in at safety? Who was in at star? Like they sub. So who was in at linebacker? I mean, they went. At one time it was Ben Bolton and Jaden Harmon were the linebackers. So I would have to look at it, but from the very start, Tennessee looked good defensively. So I'm going to lean on, like, I think the starters and the guys who are going to play the majority of the game against Georgia, I think we're fine at defense.
I would say they rotated too much.
Probably wouldn't change a whole lot.
Yeah, but I don't think they were bad anyway.
Sure.
They're definitely not bad. They have some stuff to clean up. Injuries are going to limit what they can do ultimately. Like, I just don't think they can fix the interior of the defensive line right now. Like, it's just a body situation. Like, it is what it is. Like, there's nothing they can do with no David Hobbs and Jackson Moy and Nathan Robinson not being able to stay healthy. Like, at a certain point, you're just out of numbers. Like, it's just, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just, they're good players, but they're banged up. And I don't know. Like, I just don't know how you fix that in the middle of the year. I do think Inge, who I love, William Inge is awesome. he's got to cut the rotation down at linebacker. Like that cannot be how much he's rotating against Georgia and everybody else. Like Spillman popped, T-Lander obviously had the pick. Like I'm going 3 linebackers only, Georgia on in those big games. Like it has to just be Arion, Edwin Spillman, and Jeremiah T-Lander. That's it. Like you cannot expand this thing unless injury, whatever. But he played too many linebackers, and I think that was part of it. Was Inge was trying to. It seems like he was trying to keep a lot of people happy. You know, like you cannot rotate 6-7 guys there.
Maybe
like,
it'll be
you feel
like
good about him, but you can't do that.
2023, where our best linebackers just never on the field.
Wait, what?
Aaron Beasley there would be critical downs. You look around, Aaron Beasley's nowhere to be found.
Oh.
It blew my mind. The rotation in 2023 will never make sense to me at linebacker.
Well, that was an Inge, so
correct.
That was,
yeah.
So I don't know.
I just maybe you saw it. It's crazy. Like a lot of people, probably the people that are upset with the defensive play, they look at 26 and they go, you got 26 points scored on you by an offense that sucks. Blah blah. Blah. Did you see? You probably saw it, Chase. That's sitting at home. I don't think Landon saw it, and I don't think I've seen anyone really talk about it. I can't remember if it was a 3rd down run or a 4th down run. I think it was 4th and 1, and we punched the ball out of Willis's arm, and it went into his other arm. They scored the next play. I mean, fell into his other arm as he was going to the ground. That stops a touchdown right there, and I think all of this discourse about the defense changes.
I mean, Boo Carter had a sack, and he got out of it, and they went on to score that later that drive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that was on 4th down, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3rd down. Because I think they converted
okay.
4th, right? Wasn't that 3rd down?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I think it was 3rd down.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
But I feel like if this is 7 points less, especially if it's 10 points less, no one's even talking about the defense this week.
It's tough. I don't know. That's tough.
I think it's because of the offense was a lot better than we expected, and the defense, like they just had, because of what happened last year, they just had to take a step back.
I think the defense can be fine. It's just not going to be top 5, which is what S&P Plus had them as, and they only fell, to their credit, to number 6. So I think the defense is still going to be really good. I just don't think it's going to be as good as what you saw the last 2 years. I was surprised that the numbers like this defense as much as they do, because I just think it's a gap year in some respects. I think the weird part about this defense to me is that I'm still most confident in the secondary. Like they just know what they're doing. Martinez and Banks have that down. Like they are not giving up big plays. They can just plug and play a true freshman. You don't really miss a beat there. I don't know. The secondary had a lot of pressure on them on Saturday, and they just answered the bell, man. Like Colton Hood is a plug and play. I mean, you remember what Kamal had, and it took him time. Kamal hadn't turned into a great Tennessee ball. Took time. Yeah. Colton Hood, game 1's like, I'm a CB1 and one of the best corners in the SEC. Like, I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. I think Jalen McMurray's a really good player. Colton Hood's obviously a really good player. Boo Carter's a great player. And then Farouk, I think, pop for me. And if you just have him, Turrentine, who will never be like a star back there, but he'll be fine. Like he's a solid like B safety. Like he's okay. Like it's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think
the youth pops.
Yes. Jaden Harmon looked really good too, by the way.
Yeah,
Harmon
it's like, I mean, those guys that you're seeing out there against, it's game 1. It's a power 4 opponent. I know Syracuse isn't a dominant team, but it's still a game that you could technically lose.
They didn't go 2-10 last year.
And that's true.
That's true.
And you're looking at all those guys, you're like, okay, he's going to be here for at least 2 more years after this. So I think it sets your whole defense up. I like rotating a lot, but at times when you don't need to rotate, don't. Like you don't need to rotate those guys against Georgia as much as you did against Syracuse.
That's fair.
Are you wearing an SEC jacket?
Yes, I am. Yeah, wrong way.
That's crazy, Kenny. That's crazy.
Why?
Burn it.
Is that
a Tennessee jacket that has an SEC logo?
No, it's just
that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's crazy.
You like the SEC officials,
dude? Call me Rob Lowe. I'm all in.
No, you're Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney pretends to be a Tennessee fan so much. He has a picture of him standing up on top of the suites, the skyboxes during the Alabama game, and he's wearing an SEC polo, not even a Tennessee polo.
Ooh. Well, see, I'm not doing that to a game, but I'm like on a Tuesday afternoon. I didn't know this.
Where'd you get an SEC jacket?
Yeah, was it given to you at least, or did you buy it? That's gonna determine how I feel about it.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. This can only
does
get worse
the
for
SEC
me.
have a team store in Birmingham?
Caleb Mitchell, Landon Raby, what can the good folks check out from you over at More Important Issues this week?
Yeah, we're hosting an SEC show where we just rant and rave over all the SEC teams, some of our favorites. Thursday night, we'll be back in the studio at Fan Run Radio. Make sure you tune in there. Nothing else special this week that I know of, but some more coming up next week when Georgia comes to town. We have a tailgate this week for the Bucks. We are at our same spot right next to Church Street United Methodist, I believe is the name of that church. It's the one right off Henley. You know. So we'll be up there. Make sure you're following us along on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whichever name you prefer to go with, and all the other social media platforms that you can imagine. We're there.
Yeah. Also, we got our golf tournament coming up October 4th. So be sure to sign up for that if you like golf. We got plenty of spots. So it'll come out. It'll be at Iguani Farms in Rockford. And just going to be a great time. Got some VFLs coming and playing in it. So it's going to be a great hopefully a great vibe. Last year we did it like right in the middle of a hurricane. It turned out great. So this year we're expecting bigger and better things. So please sign up for that. I think we just tweeted about it before this show on what's today? Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go check that out and please sign up.
I love it. Go support the good folks over there and More Important Issues all across the radio, podcasting, golf tournaments, charity tournaments, all kinds of good stuff from Landon and Caleb each and every day. We appreciate it right here on this very program. Landon, Caleb, have a good rest of your night, and I'll talk to y'all next week.
TJ.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.